Good morning, good evening, or good night, folks. I am your host, Simon Redhand, and today we're going to be continuing on with my free content and going to be dropping a video on my Atlas. I know there's a bunch of these videos come up, and everyone should probably have an idea what you need to do for your Atlas when you actually get to the end game. So I'm not going to be showing anything revolutionary here, but I figured I would go through and just show what I plan on doing. I love the fact that they added in 3 Atlas trees because I do full respects to my Atlas regularly when I'm playing because I like changing the content around. I like experimenting. But as you know, they got rid of Wandering Path because it was just too powerful and it was forcing people into certain directions that just quite frankly wasn't fun for the game's health in the end game, right? So I understand why they removed it. And right now they replaced it with some other interesting nodes. And now there are clear, I wouldn't say clear-cut strategies, but there are strategies forming because of the combination of being able to have multiple Atlas trees. You can now seriously consider having a league start Atlas, and then a mid-game Atlas, and then a super uber jacked, I got all my gear in place farming Atlas, right? So for the early league start Atlas, there's no best, but I would go with what's common sense, just because of the fact that they remove so much map duplication from the nodes, from the tree. They remove so much connected map drop from the tree that you're kind of forced to get all of Kirak's missions here in the center and his missions over here on the side here. So what you're gonna rush is not the Kirak wheel, but you're gonna rush Unwavering Vision. And there's a bunch of videos out there explaining why, but if you don't understand, it's just basically the fact that it gives you those 20 passive Atlas skill points. It's equivalent to having 20 maps completed doing this, right? The minimum pathing to get here is, I think, is 22. And it works out that you can get this on your first 22 maps. You put a point into this, and then you get to assign those points wherever you want. Now, some folks are arguing that it's not worth getting this because of all the cool scarabs they showed you. You're going to miss out on all these fancy scarabs that might exist. But here's the reality. A lot of those scarabs are repurposed from some of the rarer awakened sextons, some of the rarer drops and modifiers that came from other mechanics. You're not going to see half of those fantastic scarabs that people are planning for. It's almost like planning around getting divine drops. You're not going to see them, and if you see them early game, you're going to sell them. That's just usually how this is going to work. So for the first until your Atlas is completely filled, you shouldn't care at all about what scarabs are dropping. It's not going to matter. And with the changes they've made, you're capable of target farming any content you want. So your only focus should be filling out your Atlas and enjoying what you're doing while you're filling it out, right? Here, let's go through it. I'll show you how I would go about doing this. Just like I do when I'm planning my new skill builds and a skill I've never used before and figuring out how would I go about mapping towards it. I would start off with typing in the nodes I'm looking for, which is Kirak, right? Kirak clusters are located here, here, and here. Right, you're trying to facilitate getting as much Kirak as you can. So you're first going to go straight up. It's because this is the direction you need to be in. You're going towards this way anyway. This is going to get you the most progress to what you want, what you've got into Unwavering Vision. So you come over here. What nodes are worth looking at? So on this side directly is all scouting reports. On this, is all Kirak increase, and this side is all scouting reports. Scouting reports could be decent, but I don't care about tracking them. Sometimes I usually sell them, so I'm not going to go out of my way to stack scouting reports right now. And once you have that, you just go straight to Unwavering Vision. You get the rest of the Kirak nodes, right? So you go down here, snap up these 3, go down here, snap up these 3, and then from there, this is pretty much what you're looking for to get all your Kirak missions as high as you need them to be, right? So all that together, you're gonna have 26% chance to grant an additional Kirak mission on map completion. Now from there, you're gonna be wanting to increase your connected map drop. So you're gonna go and search for maps. There used to be a whole lot more of these before the new patch. Now, as you look, there's not that many nodes, and this is a leveling tree with the focus being about mapping. You're going to path to every one of these nodes. And how you're going to go about doing that? Well, you start here, getting that. You're going to get this one here. You're going to go for these 2 here. The tree is going to look ugly, but you're going to fix that later. You're going to go here, going to get this, going to get this, going to get this. Gonna also get this, also get these, also get that, right? This is path to pathing, and it keeps adjusting things in a way that I don't like. This is my first time actually using this planner, and I don't like that it's shuffling nodes around on its own, and it's kind of irritating me. So I might go back to PoE Planner just to do this, just because I don't want it automatically doing these routes for me and shifting my board around. Like, see that? get this jump back and forth. So give me a minute. I'm going to switch to the PoE planner. Okay, we're back to what I was looking at before. So we're going to be pathing to all the additional connected maps, just like when you're doing your own skill trees in PoE path of building. You don't really need to care about how the tree looks at first. You seek out all the nodes you need, and then you plan on making it look better after you get them all, right? Because you have to know where they are first, and then you clean up the pathing after that, right? So here, get all these. I think that's it. I think that's all the connected map nodes you can actually get here. How would you path to that? Well, you're going straight and you're going around. So this is how I would do it. I would have this section here where as I get extra points, I'd be pathing towards all these spare nodes around here and creating this link. And remember, you have 3 trees. You don't have to worry about respecs. You don't have to worry about what orbs of unmaking are going to cost you to fix this. When you get your second tree unlocked, you just switch to it, right? So this is every connected map node that's available to you, right? This is what you'd be at with 45 maps, because remember, you have unwavering vision, which is giving you 20 points, right? So next, after this, you're going to look for maps found have a chance to become 1 tier higher. Okay, so you put that in the box, search for that. So there used to be more shaping nodes, but they actually got rid of, they get rid of one of them. Oh no, they moved it here. So you get this, shaping the skies, you get shaping the world, shaping the mountain, it means, and you would get shaping the world here, right? You'd also get these. You would not get this, even though this might be useful later on, but you do need these nodes. If you have to choose one of these to pick, I would pick bold undertakings, right? Because it just gives you the additional fortune favors the brave. Fortune favors the brave farming is very simple to combine with some alchemy mapping, and that'll be most beneficial for any folks who don't really target farm any bit mechanics. But even if you do, doesn't really matter. It's not a big deal to use your point on that, right? You can also choose this if you like, but this is something you would do later game when you're just willing to spend money on a specific mechanic. But early game, if you're just filling your atlas, you're more likely to use bold undertakings and make use of it than you are to make use of overloaded circuits, right? So at this point, this atlas can be considered finished in terms of what a leveling atlas is going to look like. You got your 68% chance for monsters in each map to drop an additional connected map. You got your chance for map bosses to drop a connected map. Kirak missions on completion. So this is pretty much the bare bones what you're looking for. After you get all of these nodes, you're going to look for whatever mechanics that you think are fun to play, which is very important, because a lot of these guides like to say, well, this is the #1 mechanic to do. You got to do blight, because blight gives you all this currency per hour. You're getting all this divs per hour. You got to do essence, because essence gives you all these divs per hour. No, you got to do ritual, blah blah blah. The reality is, you got to do a mechanic you actually want to do. I've been playing this game for years. I absolutely hate Alva. Even if you told me Alva prints Mirror of Calandra, I'm not doing that temple crap. Every time I need a corruption temple, I usually buy it. I never do it beyond what the challenge demands me to do, and as soon as the challenge is finished, I usually delete it off my atlas. I don't care about Alva. I'm not doing it. I don't care. It's the most profitable strategy in the league. The same goes for Blight. The same goes for Einhar and his beast. The same goes for essences. I don't like doing any of these mechanics, so I don't plan around them. And I don't care what videos are saying when they say these are the best mechanics to do. And that's generally how I function with most things in this game. It's like, I have to find the path that I enjoy doing. Otherwise, I'm going to log on to this game and play somebody else's game. And if I don't like what I'm doing, I'm not going to finish the league. And that's generally the philosophy there. That's the only issue I take with a lot of these planning videos and the atlas videos they put up there. It's always telling people this is the strategy you must do. And the reality is, if you don't like what it is, you're not going to do it, period. What I want to do this league is got to be Jun. And I usually do Jun because if you watch my other videos, I like devouring Diadem. So I get in the habit of farming devouring Diadem out myself, because I don't like paying the price it costs now. And thanks to the fact that you are blocking scarabs, and the fact that Jun is her mechanics don't count when you do them in the inner safe houses, you should be able to make up your lost scarabs by doing Jund missions, right? So because I already know I'm doing Jund, I would plan this, I would go about pathing this differently from the start, but since I'm showing people like what you should search for, I just did a generic search. But I already knew I was going to go after Jund, so I would show you how my tree would actually look if I was league starting and how I'd actually go about doing this pathing, right? I'm going to get this just because this increases your chance to get Jund, right? I'd go this way, same way up here, get all these nodes here, come this way, more chance to get Jund over here, right? And now you're connected over here, which means I don't need this. Oops, this is an add-on. I don't need these ones here, right? I'm not getting this node here. I don't do magic find, so on its face this node looks terrible to me, so I don't care about missing this node. Go over here, more chance to get Jund, more chance to get Jund. This is all I'm looking for here, right? At some point while I'm doing this, I probably would make sure I keep my captains up to date, but that's because it does to get my veiled items in place. But the only veiled item I really chase is reduced mana cost and reduced cost of channeling, which I'm going to need because I'm doing a channeling build, right? So we would do this. I would get points for syndicate leaders, but remember, this is all going to be after I get my nodes, after I get my Kirak nodes, right? So I would get this. Syndicate members can be accompanied by their leaders. Early game bribery is not bad in terms of them that they could drop for you, but you're not going to get those good loot explosions for scarabs because scarabs are blocked. So that's going to drop them in the map itself, right? Test of loyalty is worth getting when you're doing syndicate, because getting extra levels faster is always good. I don't care about rarity at all. Like I said, I don't do magic find. Now you could change the search from Jund to betrayal to see the rest of the nodes that are available, and as you can see here, I've gotten the majority of the betrayal nodes. And all that's left is this here for intelligence gathering. And intelligence gathering is actually fantastic for just rushing Katarina farming, which I would most likely get. If you're going to do syndicate like that and you're going to be doing the mechanic, there's no downside to doing this one because you're looking for scarabs. That means you got to facilitate safe houses, right? And then you're going to kill Katarina every time those safe houses pop. So betrayal is the first mechanic I'm going to keep on my atlas. I might drop it when I do my endgame atlas, but leveling up from here to red maps and getting my gear in place and getting currency, betrayal staying on. I also usually do expedition, but this league I don't think I'm going to push expedition too hard. I think I'm going to focus on ultimatum because I didn't play ultimatum league. I was playing a different game at that time, but I still want to learn the mechanics, and I didn't fight Problem Master enough last league. Like, he barely showed up, but now that he's on the demand with a scarab, I'm going to keep ultimatum on just for one, get used to the mechanics of ultimatum, and two, I'm going to fight him every chance I get this league. I'm going to fight him. He's part of my boss strategy I'm going to be doing in this league. So ultimatum is also on my atlas. I generally don't block content, so I don't really pay attention to these nodes too much, but we're going to go here. This is going to give you ultimatum chance. Grab these 3 nodes here for more ultimatum chance. I don't worry too much about the increased XP. I don't think they're worth 2 points, and I don't like stand your round. I don't like it shrinking the radius each round. It's too hard to do all your leveling. Maybe later at late game I'd think about it, but right now early game definitely not. Prove yourself worthy is something to consider after you get your gear in place, and it's worth coming back towards it. Also gotta go over here, get your ultimatum chance over here. I don't have a particular affinity towards any of these mechanics, so I don't really care about going through all of them, right? So I only care about getting the ultimatum chance. But this, if you don't like ultimatum, of course you can consider which ones you can block. I personally don't care about blocking any of them, but when I have extra points, I will put them towards these. I will put them towards them just because it does make it does increase the benefit of doing these other types, right? Especially like the survival one, it reduces the time you gotta take to do them. I think one of them gives you more mobs to kill, so it ends faster, things like that. This cluster I don't believe is worth chasing, just because I think inscribed ultimatums are rare to begin with, and even when I did find them last league, I did not like any of them. Sure, you can get ones that ask you to sacrifice divines to make more divines, but I don't think it's worth investing in these nodes just to get more inscribed ultimatums, because I don't think they're good. Unfortunately, this is a rare one. I had it all last league and I still only fought Trial Master like 4 times. So yeah, on paper it sounds good, but the reality is when you do fight the boss, you do want them to drop that full stack of random catalysts. So it's worth the points just because of the chance of getting that to drop. So that's Ultimatum. That's Jun. What else I also like doing is I like Harbinger. I've actually had pretty good luck with Harbinger. I've gotten, I think last league I got two fracturing orbs outright to drop. Usually a league I get fraction fragments. I enjoy Harbinger League. I enjoy the Harbingers themselves, so I usually keep that on my map. It might not be the best and most efficient, whatever, but I like it, so I keep it on. So I usually get this, and I usually also get the chance of the boss Harbinger, and at some point we will get this too, right? Just because the additional chance to drop the additional stack can pay off. As you can see, this tree alone, this is just a tree. By the time it's done here, at this point here, I would probably be transitioning already, or you know what, I would most likely keep using this until I had all 4 of my void stones, the last 10 points or whatever I can put anywhere I like. But I'm finishing the unique maps as I get them, and at some point I would turn one of the altars on. I usually start with Searing Exarch, but with the changes to Awakening Orbs and stuff like that and all the smaller currency, I don't know if I'd start with Searing Exarch again, because Searing Exarch was pretty good at giving you the small currencies. Usings, the Awakening Orbs, the Sextants. It was good at giving you you know, little small bubblegum currencies like that, right? With the changes to it, I don't know. Starting up with Searing Exarch would be the play. But there's no downside to picking one of these altars to go with, right? So until proven otherwise, I would probably stick to what I usually do with Searing Exarch and getting the increased pack size, right? Note that even though they removed the nodes here, they added pack size to the top here. So if you are trying to get into this habit of farming Exarch, then it's not a bad thing to consider going up here, choosing the side that gives you increases your chance to double, right? And then just going there. Now you can help farm that way, and get these nodes now because it's more appealing to go up here and get these nodes. I still think these 2 here are trash, the front, but the increased pack size, not bad. All right, got 10 points left. So this would be the leveling tree that I would use. It's Jun, Ultimatum, Searing Exarch for the altars that I would focus on, and then Harbingers, right? I don't use Essence. I don't like them. When I play maps and stuff like that, if I do any gameplay, you'll notice I usually walk past them. Unless I'm playing a minion build and I actually need them, I don't care about Essence stacking. Yes, I know how much currency they're worth. Yes, I know selling in bulk is valuable. I still don't do it, so I don't bother clicking. I don't bother clicking Essences most of the time. What else? Delirium. I like Delirium somewhat, but I rarely spec into Delirium beyond the mirror showing up. Like I said, I generally stick to the end game mechanics I enjoy doing. This here would be my mid-league farming setup. Be focusing on Ultimatum, like I said earlier. I'd be putting Beyond in there, and I'd be turning on Shrines and keeping on Harbinger, and just focusing on just running it through maps. The only mechanic really focusing on when it shows up is going to be Ultimatum. It pops up, and then Beyond will be giving me some extra mobs here. I wouldn't be doing Delirium because I wouldn't be confident in being able to properly farm Delirium the way it's meant to be, but this is fine for Alkingor, right? I turned on some of the scarabs again, got rid of this, got the nodes that increases the likelihood of alternate type scarabs, and got this node here for bosses to drop more scarabs, but I did not put any focus on specific content level scarabs, right? Because I don't think it's necessary, right? Like I said, I don't block content, things like that. So this would be what I would switch to if I was just starting to farm red maps and trying to make some currency. All right, and then the last tree that I would do once I feel like my build is nearing completion and it's fully juiced would be map modifier build. And this here would be my final tree. It focuses on, I go up this way just because, I don't do Alva, so if Nico shows up, I don't really mind it. Focuses on Harbinger still, Shrines. focus is on getting, whoops, I would get rid, yeah, get rid of that. I would have packed with energy, so focuses on Nico. Well, not, it doesn't focus on Nico, but I don't care if Nico spawns or not. Shrines, Nico, Harbinger, Delirium, Beyond. A lot of Beyond merging radius, all are maxed out. And, this all map modifier effect. I didn't get this because I don't want to block extra content because I still want to do ultimatum. So, yeah, this would most likely be the focus here, right? At a certain point, I would, or just use scarabs to force them to spawn. So I don't want to use back to basics because I would use scarabs just to force ultimatum spawns while I'm doing the rest of this juice content of delirium and beyond that way. So yeah, that's just the idea what I have for my Atlas this league, what I most likely will be doing the farm. And I'm not saying, well, this is like the best strategy, this is going to get you mirrors, you want to get headhunters, what you do, blah blah blah. This is just the content I enjoy doing, so this is what I built my Atlas around, and the 3 Atlas I'm going to be doing and the reasons why I'm doing them. All right, guys, thank you guys for dropping by. As always, I appreciate you giving me your time. Have yourselves a good morning. If this is the only video you watch of me today, a good afternoon or a good night.